So good morning, everyone, and welcome to Yin Yoga. Let's take a comfortable seat, finding our way onto that mat or cushion or whatever it is you like to sit on. Allow the shoulders to drift down the back of your body so that your collarbones and the front body feel nice and spacious. And then once you find your seat, just become still. Take a nice deep breath as you exhale. Feel the weight of your pelvis on whatever you're sitting. Feel the physical body and the bones, this thing we call a body. And as we drop in and we settle, we notice the breath. We bring our awareness to what we're doing so that we can get in touch a little bit with the energy body. It's really easy to get involved and in touch with the physical body. But the yogis believe that the energy body, Chinese medicine believes this, that the energy body actually informs and creates the sensation or the experience in the physical body. And so can you just use the breath as a way to, like an entry point. Notice how the body's breathing. And notice the sensations of the breath as it flows in and out. And the energy body is much more subtle, much more, I'll call it deep for lack of a better word. It isn't deep, but it feels like it's underneath the tissue, when in reality it's all around us. Some people feel lightness or tingling or warmth. Others just have a knowing. And take one more breath here. And then bring your hands together. A nice way to feel this, and you might have done this before, is to rub your hands together. And you can do it real slow. The faster you go, the more heat or the more energy you create. And then pause and separate your hands about a half an inch. Can you feel the sensation between your two hands? The sensation is many times what we could feel in our internal body if we have the awareness. A sense of tingling, or a sense of lightness, or a sense of warmth. And then close your hands together again. Take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, you can release your hands. Softly open the eyes. Could you feel that tingling? My ego mind, the part of me that doubts, says, oh, that's just friction on my skin that I created with the heat of this. Yes, and it's also the other thing. So if you found yourself doing that, just notice, we're trying to really understand something that's hard to understand. Come on down onto your mat. You lay on your back first. And as you lay on your back with your arms down and your legs down, we just take another moment to check in. If you have a strap nearby, I'd like to use it today in class. So whether you have it right now or you get it in a second, it doesn't matter. I forgot to tell you when we started. So legs are down, arms are down, palms are open. and just drop yourself into the mat. And become very aware of the physical denseness of your body. And then starting to notice how the body is breathing. So today, with the awareness and the breath, I want to be a little bit more subtle, a little bit more in tune with these energies that are within us and all around us. Notice how the state of your mind and the quality of your energy. That's another way to think about it. So, do you feel tired? Do you feel awake? Is there a sense of lightness? All right, and from here, I want you to bend both knees. We've done this somatic movement a lot. It's a really, really nice one for the whole body. What I'd like you to do is have enough space around you so you can take your arms out like a T, about shoulder level if you can. Feet are as wide as the mat. Take a breath here, and then just allow your knees to drift to the left, rolling on the outer and inner edge of your feet. Turn your eyes to the right and look at your right palm that's up. Turn your left palm down. And notice how that feels in your shoulders. You might not notice it in your right hand, but you'll notice it in your left. Take a breath, stretch all your fingers out as if you're trying to touch every tip of your finger into the mat or into the floor. And then inhale, come to center. Switch to your other side. Head turns left, palms turn up and over, knees go to the right. Pause there for a moment. Reaching with your fingers, being purposeful about where your arms are. Letting your knees drift over. And now the juice here is to move on the breath and really link it. So as you inhale, come up, eyes and knees to center, turn your hands over, exhale, allow your body to go in the opposite direction. At the end of your exhale, bring yourself up and switch. Now what can be nice to do is to hang out for a breath or two on each side, especially if you're getting a lot of sensation. The other thing that's nice to do is to, instead of stopping your hands at the back of your hand and the palm of your hand, you can keep trying to flip over the hand you're looking at. So it's one or the other. It doesn't matter. If you feel like you have more mobility and you want to flip that hand over to get more juice in the shoulder, that's going to help all the way through the fingers, down through the body, and across to the opposite side. And just keep going in and out through that pattern. The wider your feet are apart, the more you're going to work with that internal, external rotation of your hip socket. Just allowing your body to move in this really simple way, finding the nuance, the sticky. And as we travel through this practice, and we get a little bit more in touch with that subtler energy body, it helps us to drop in and become a little bit more intentional. We just went through that supermoon time. I don't know if you had a chance to experience it. But this time of the supermoon and moving now towards the solstice, it's really a nice time of reflection, of inner nourishment, of releasing and letting go. So the next time you come up to center, just pause and put your arms down, put your legs down, and notice what you notice. Feeling and sensing into the physical body, the breath body, the mind, and our energy. From here, let's bend the knees. We're going to stay on our backs for a moment, and I want you to cross your right thigh over your left thigh. So tight legs, and if you can hook your feet, go ahead, but I'm going to leave mine open. And I want to bring the knees toward you, bring them towards your chest, and hook your hands around your knees or your shins, whatever you can hold. So I've got one hand on one leg and one hand on the other because I can reach, because I'm short-waisted. You might not be able to do that. Take a breath here, and as you exhale, start to draw the knees towards your chest until you find that sweet sensation. Remember, not too hard, not too easy. And this is our first yin pose. So we're going to hold this one. And we just allow a little bit of efforting in the arms, not a lot. Notice that your throat feels open, your shoulders feel relaxed. If you've got a lot of freedom in your hips, you might run your hands down by your ankles and start to pull the ankles apart. That's a little much for me, so I'm going to keep it up by my knees. It's our first yin posture, so you might say to yourself, well, not yet. And so we're in the right leg. We're in the right hip. We might be in the right lower back. And breathe and settle. And let the back of your head feel heavy. The back of your body really connect to the earth. Breathe deep in the belly. And as we always do, when you start to feel a release or the sensations subside, the knees will naturally be able to come a little closer to the body. So we keep the tension against the tissues for a couple of minutes. We've got another 30 seconds here. Breathing into that deeper awareness of energy and sensation. Take one more breath. And then allow your left foot to land on the floor. This is where I'd like you to have your strap. And if you have a strap with a loop in it, I want you to put the loop around your right foot. And then we're going to take the foot up in the air. Instead of pulling the leg and the hands down, can you take the strap tail and go backwards around the arms, around the ears, or around the side of the head? So we've done this before. This is just a little variation of how we do this one-legged hamstring stretch. But I want you to pull in the upper body if you can. So the further back your arms go, the length of the arms is important. You'll get into the armpit, chest, and the side waist. The leg that you got in the air, please reach up into the strap and drop your right hip down. And then if you feel okay, you could slide your left leg to the floor. So that's just an option. Make sure you're not buckling your knee. See if you can extend the leg all the way. And it helps to reach up into the foot as you reach back with your arms, creating that loop of tension, hand to foot, foot to hand, and all the way through the body. And breathing. There's a little bit more effort here, so just notice how much you're pulling, and can you soften a little bit, still keeping the action, however. Allow yourself to just be still, noticing what you notice. See if you can let go of anything that you're holding on to, like a story, or maybe you feel like you're holding rather than expanding. Now the last one we're going to do here, take your right arm and reach up towards your foot. You might hold the tail or you might hold the loop, depending on your flexibility. And you're going to take the whole leg out to the side. Keep your left hip down, keep your left shoulder down. Try to keep your arms straight, so hold where you can to keep your arms straight. Left arm can go out on the floor. And we're here for 2 minutes. Now, if this feels too vulnerable, you could put a block underneath your upper thigh to give it a little bit of support. Keep reaching through the foot. Keep reaching through the leg, so there's some action happening. You're not just hanging in your tissues. So find something to rest on if it feels too vulnerable, or if you feel like you're going to flip over on your side. And breathe. And the more still you can create, the more stillness you can create, the more effect you're going to have, the more juice you're going to create. Remember, we're always trying to hydrate the tissues with the tension. That's what's happening. You nourish and hydrate your fascia, especially around the great big joints of the body. So in this case, you might notice your knee or your hip, or maybe your shoulder because you're working with your arm. Keep allowing the breath to deepen into the belly. And take one more nice deep breath here. And then allow your leg to come back up to center. Unhook your strap and drop it off to the side and go back to your pretend shavasana, dropping in. And because we just did one side of the body, notice what that side feels like, your whole right side. Do you have more space in the belly? Do you have more sensation? Go back to that energy thing again. Do you feel more energy in your hip, in the groin, in your lower belly, maybe in your right chest? And then go ahead and bend the knees again. We'll start on the other side. Before we do that, pick your hips up just about a couple of inches off the floor and then set your hips back down. That a lot of times just feels more settled. And now cross your left leg over your right, so thigh to thigh, knee crosses, and then bring your legs up to gently hug them into the body. So remember to find a place where you can hold here. And you're breathing. Good. So in the left side of the body, left hip, maybe left groin. Working with the arms, but trying not to overwork the arms. And when we work into this more subtle arena of what we call the energy body, we actually can increase our vibration. We're not so dull. And we create what I like to call a flow state. And this flow state, this higher vibration, affects not only how we feel in our body, but also how we react to the world, how we respond to the world in our mind. And so just notice, without making anything wrong or creating a reason or a story, just notice how you're feeling in all of the different shapes. And take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring your legs down on the floor. And this is where you need your strap again on your left foot. So we'll go to the second action. Loop your foot and then grab the tail if you're using the tail and slide your hands back and create a reach back with your hands and a reach up with your foot to create that loop of tension. Now everybody's shoulders are different, so if your shoulders don't like being back this far, you can always walk your hands up, but keep your arms straight. Don't pull down towards your body. Eventually, you might be able to open up your shoulders enough so your arms can get along the side of your head. And if this feels good, just right leg goes down. You don't have to do that second part. And then reaching up with the left foot, reaching back with the arms. So there's that loop of tension all the way around. And we create that whatever sensation you're feeling in your body, and everybody's a little bit different. So it might be in your shoulders, might be in your waist. Can you drop your left hip down a little bit while you're reaching it up towards the ceiling? And notice how that creates more sensation in the back of your leg, which is where we want to be. And we play with this deeper understanding, this deeper awareness and the breath, so we can drop away from so much of the physical body and start to really notice the energy. And some of us are very skilled at this. You have a natural aptitude to really tap into this, and others have a little bit of a harder time. But we all have the option. Take one more nice deep breath here. And then reach up with your left hand as close as you can to your foot. And then take your foot out to the left. Now if you're like me and you're lucky you have a wall really close to you, you could let your foot land on the wall if that gives you the right amount of tension. Or you could rest it on a block or a bolster. Or you could just hold it in space. Making sure the rest of your body feels grounded and heavy. Soften your jaw, relax your teeth. Close your eyes if you feel a little distracted. And so a lot of times when we practice yoga, the style almost doesn't matter. We start to sense and feel the body differently. We start to understand ourselves a little differently. And I found this so interesting. I was listening to an Ayurvedic teacher, and I was reminded about the season and the time
of the season that we're in is a very vata time. It's very dry, it's very cold, it's a little crackly, and it creates a vata imbalance. It can create a vata imbalance, not only in the physical body where we feel tight and dry, but in our mind. And when we feel that dysregulation in the mind, it has an effect on our whole being. And so when we're practicing yoga, we actually can settle and ground and drop in so that we're not so affected by the elements of nature right now, because we all can be. That's why we all like warm cooked foods in the winter when it's cold out, because we're trying to ground ourselves, regulate ourselves. Take a nice deep breath here. And then bring your leg up nice and slow. Take the loop away and drop in. Let go. And then you might notice that the body feels a little differently now than it did when you first lied down. Maybe you feel heavier. Maybe you feel lighter. Maybe there's more ease. And go ahead and bend your knees. Bring your legs up into your chest. Give them a little hug. And from here, we're just going to roll to a side and come up away from the floor. Come into a sitting position. All right. So the strap can go off to the side. You may want your blocks close by. You may want a bolster close by. So the first one we're going to do here is to do what I like to call zigzag. So I want you to open your feet up, lean back on your hands. Just like we were doing in the beginning with that swishing side to side, I want you to take your legs over to it'll be your right, my left. And you can bring your legs closer together if your hips don't like it. Otherwise, let them be apart. Pick up your back hand and come over this front leg. Now, the easy way for you to do this is to keep your foot closed in like this, and you'll be right over your knee. All right? You can do it that way. Or you can pull your foot forward and have one hand on the outside of your foot and one hand on your knee, and you'll come more over your shin. This is a harder action. So find where you want to be, find your edge. So you might have your blocks in front of your shin or your knee so that you can rest on it. You might have a bolster in front of you. That's a nice thing to do too. The further open your feet and knee are, the harder it is. So if it feels too hard, just bring everything closer together and go more over the knee. So we're back in the hip again. Now we're on the right side. And we're breathing. We've got a little twist going on now. So we've added an element to the upper body. But most of us will feel this in the hip again. Our hips are really dense. They have a lot of tissue and a lot of dense bones. And so it's really nice to spend some time helping to nourish the tissues that hold us all together. And remembering that this time that we're in, just passing the supermoon and moving into the solstice time, it's more of a reflection, a quieting, a going inward time. And I always find this such an interesting quality of opposites, because the culture invites us to be very busy right now with shopping and parties and just basically running around, doing a lot of extra. But the season and the time of year that we're in, and even the time of life we're in, really encourages us not to do that. And to listen to that quiet inner voice. Spending more time journaling and reading and sitting by a fire and making warm cooked soup. Okay, take a nice deep breath. And then slowly starting to bring yourself up. You're going to bring your legs back up and then stretch your legs back out a minute before we go to the other side. And then when you feel ready, go ahead and lean back on your hands. Separate your feet enough so that when you go over to the left, you've got your legs in that shape you want them. And then come on around and find your space you want. So maybe it's going to be over your shin, and that's your foot's more forward in front of you. Or maybe your foot's closer and you're going to be more over your knee. Find your place. Find a prop if you need it. Noticing your sides and how they're different. I'm noticing on this side, I feel like I'm falling over to my hip, so I have to move my prop over a bit. Where's my other block? So I have a little bit more support. And the way I think about the body and the energy field is the way I think about inside of spaces, like inside your house, or inside a store, or inside a room. You know, you've got the structure of the whatever, of the building. Let's say it's our house. We've got the structure of our house with our walls and our roof and our floors. That's like our physical body structure. But then the inside of those structures have an energy to them. You know what I'm saying? You know right when you walk in the door, it feels a certain way. And that's the energy that we've put into the space, or that the space holds on its own. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but if you've ever gone into, I used to go into people's houses when I was a personal trainer. I didn't have a space. I went to them. And every single house had a different feeling. I didn't understand it at the time, but I do now. And it's fascinating, actually. And I'd like to think that our energy that we hold is also in our homes. Kind of cool to think about. Take a nice deep breath. And then slowly bringing yourself up. Open your legs back out. Stretch your legs back down. Take a moment. All right. So now I want you to think about sitting cross-legged. Put your right leg in front. Your right leg, my left. And if you have more freedom, just like I've been offering all these other suggestions, you can put one foot on top and come into fire log pose. For me today, that's not going to be what I want to do, so I'm going to go back to Sukhasana. Try to get your feet under your knees so your knees can drop down onto your feet as best as they can. Take a moment here, and then I want you to take your hands to your opposite legs. So you've crossed over your arms. So if your right leg's in front, cross your right arm in front. Take a deep breath here, and as you exhale, bend your elbows and fold forward. So your arms are crossed, your legs are crossed, and I want you to drop your head. So if you're free, you've got more freedom in your body, you could take your elbows and your arms right over your shins and land them on the floor. My body doesn't do that. Let your head go as much as you can. Let your head go. We have a lot of fascia along the spine, and the head can act like a little bit of weight here, a little bit of a counterweight to gently pull on that tissue. Now go easy and allow that weight of your head to help lubricate that fascia in the spine. And breathe. Go inward. Feeling that breath moving the energy. So they say prana rides on the wave of the breath. Yeah. And as we're here in this forward fold and this curled in shape, there's a deeper connection that can happen because we're going inward. A deeper connection to your energy body, but also a deeper connection to self. Take a nice deep breath. And then as you inhale, press yourself up. Unhook your arms. Take your right leg, the one that's in front, and take it out to the side. This other leg can adjust as you like. And then I want you to turn towards that straight leg. This is where you can use your props again. You can use your blocks or your bolster. And we're going to walk towards the foot. Walk, walk, walk towards the foot. Now, you can stay with your fingers or your hands on the floor like I'm doing. Or you could take your blocks, put them on each side of your straight leg, and maybe rest on your blocks. Care less about what your body looks like and care more about what you're feeling. Breathing into the sensations. Let the prana ride on the breath. So when the energy body is concentrated or it's flowing in a specific area, it can help to relax it or lubricate it or give it energy so that it can heal. So for me, my right side back feels pretty tight and irritated. And so I'm breathing there. I'm actually feeling the movement of the tissue as I'm thinking about that. And that's not our breath, that's our prana. That's our energy. If you've ever wondered, like, how come when I'm breathing and I'm thinking about my, let's say, lower back, and I can feel movement there, how can that be? My breath isn't moving down there. Now the breath helps to expand the tissues in the torso, which can help expand the tissues in the back, but also the prana's moving. So if you're feeling that, great. And take one more nice deep breath. And then slowly bring yourself up. Move your props out of the way for a minute. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Give it a minute. Kind of come back into some sort of symmetry here. And then we want to do the same little thing on the other side. So cross your left leg in front of the right. Go into that cross-legged seat or fire log, whichever you're doing. And then now take your left arm over your right, crisscrossing your hands. See if you can grab a hold of your legs and then pull forward and down. Letting yourself fold in, dropping head. And notice how this side feels. Creating that intention of going inward, feeling grounded and nourishing the tissues and the mind. Noticing the subtle letting go as you wait in your mind and in your physical body. And take one more nice deep breath. And start to slowly bring yourself up. Take your front leg out to the side. Adjust the bottom leg as you like. Maybe use your props like you did on the other side. And so we turn to face the straight leg. Sit up nice and tall to start, and then just start to fold over. Again, I'm using my blocks. You could put your hands on the floor. You could use your bolster. We find a place where we can rest here for the last couple minutes. And softening into the earth, noticing the places that are touching the earth, your pelvis, the outer shin of your bent leg, maybe the long leg. Where are you noticing the density? And then allow yourself to come into the breath, deepening that awareness. Go ahead and take a deep breath here. And start to move yourself up. Move your props out of the way. Bring your legs out in front of you. This time, take your hands back behind you and roll your shoulders back. Give yourself a little baby spinal extension here. So kind of like a back bend. Just give yourself a different direction. We've got one more forward action. I want your back to be happy. And so when you feel ready, bring your feet together. We'll go to butterfly here. You can use your props any way you like. Bolsters are nice. Blocks are nice. What I want for this one, because we're trying to work with that deeper awareness, is to have a place where you could put your head in your hands. So maybe elbows on a block, or maybe blocks. You can put your head on a block too, I don't care. Just put your head on something so that your forehead is being supported. Allow yourself to just settle into this beautiful shape. Notice the point where you've got your pressure on your forehead with your hands or your blocks, whatever you're using. And you'll feel the frontal part of your brain, right? The skin and the bones of your skull, and then the very frontal lobe of your brain. Take your awareness back into the center of your brain. So see if you can, in your own mind's eye, your own awareness, move from that front point where you feel the touch back. And the point of reference is right over the tip of the spine, or right over the palate of your mouth. Let go of the periphery. Let go of the skull. Let go of the outer edges and come in. Take a nice deep breath. And then slowly, slowly making your way up to a seated position, upright. Move your blocks and your props out of the way. Bring your knees in. Stretch your legs out. All right, we're going to make our way down onto our backs again. I'm going to take you through one more yin pose, yin shape before we do shavasana. We're moving a little bit past the hour just because I talked so much in the beginning. I want to give you a full experience, and so just so you know, I'm paying attention to the time. All right, so while we're down on the floor, again, if you want to pick your hips up and drop your hips down just to give yourself a reset, go ahead and do that. And then I want you to bring your hips over to the left, and we're going to cross the left leg over the right like we did in the beginning. You can keep your right foot on the floor, or you could draw your legs up depending on your hip size and your hip shape. We're going to go over into a twist to the right. So what's going to happen is your left foot's going to land on the floor, and this left knee could drop through a little bit more, but I want you to keep your left shoulder on the mat. Don't overstretch, don't overwork. So let the left foot support you while you're waiting in this twist. And then the knee will drop down as you start to soften the tissue. So one more time, we're in the hip, and we're also in the spine in the twist. Turn your head to the left and breathe. See if you can feel the line of fascia from your outer left leg, hip, all the way up through your armpit, chest, and maybe even up into the palm of your hand. So some of that is fascia, some of that is energy. Notice what you notice. Let your body feel heavy on the mat, on the floor, on the earth. Let go of the gripping, let go of the holding. And with every exhale, you can just soften into your shape even more. Take a nice deep breath. And then slowly starting to bring yourself up and out of that twist. Unhook your legs, feet on the floor, bring your hips back in the middle, and then adjust. Again, you might lift your hips up in between. And then we'll repeat that on the other side. So hips go to the right. Your right leg comes over the top of the left leg. And then you can leave your feet on the floor and just twist over, or you can lift your feet like we did in the beginning and twist over. Find what works for you. Let your right foot touch the floor if it can. And rotate your chest open, arm open. So what's important here is that your right arm and shoulder feel anchored. So back up your legs a little bit if you got a little ambitious. And then stay in that shape so that your tissues feel that tension. And then you let go. The ground has you, the earth has you. Soften your tissues, soften your gripping. Let the breath and the energy body nourish you. Remember, we're in that time of inner nourishment. It comes from us. It comes from our inner body and our mind and how we, live in the world. It doesn't come from outside of us. No matter what's going on outside, temperature-wise, culture-wise, family-wise, none of that matters. It only matters that we're in our own sort of space. We're connected to our own sense of self and energy. And we nourish ourselves on all levels as much as we can. And now we'll forget and we'll get busy and, we'll do the crazy. We all do this. And then we'll remember again. And the more we remember, the more we practice, the more nourishment we get, and then the better we feel overall. Take a nice deep breath. And then very slowly start to bring yourself up and out of that twist. Uncrossing your legs, bring your hips back into the center of your mat. And then just before we go into Shavasana, bring your knees to your chest. Give them a gentle hug. Gentle. Let your body feel symmetrical, right and left easy. And then feet go down on the floor. And we'll move into Shavasana from here. So if Shavasana feels good to you to just lie all the way down like we've been doing through class, do that. If you'd rather have something underneath your legs or underneath your head or both, do that. Remember to cover yourself up. We are in that cold time of year. Our body and our nervous system need the warmth. And if you have trouble this time of year feeling settled and grounded, anytime you come to Shavasana when you practice, it's nice to put something that's weighted on your body. It could be a weighted blanket. It could be just another blanket. It could be a sandbag if you have one. Anything like that. And then as we always do, when you get settled, you feel warm, you feel like you've got yourself set up, take a nice deep breath. Exhale, eyes closed, body coming to stillness. Take a longer and deeper breath.
And slowly start to stretch and move, coming back to your body. And as you feel ready, you can bend your knees, gently roll to your side, pause there for a breath or two. And when you feel ready, bring yourself up to sitting. Try to keep your eyes closed. Staying in that inward focus, that inward awareness. Letting the hands come to the heart center. Let the heart center feel spacious and open as you bow your head. Gratitude for our time together on the mat, our deep body wisdom and guiding light. May our light always shine brightly, and may we always see the light in each other. Namaste.